Alignment is critical for long axis strokes because it involves rotation. Well, in this video, I'm specifically addressing backstroke and how to correct alignment. Hey swimmers, welcome back to the SWIMVICE channel. I'm Coach Mandy, and today's video is addressing backstroke, but specifically on alignment and how to correct it moving forward. Now, before I get into detail, if you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe because I post videos weekly to help with your swim training. So in this video breakdown, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of habits that can commonly happen with backstroke and how to correct that alignment in order to move forward by decreasing drag and having a more efficient stroke. All right, so in this video breakdown, first I'm going to demonstrate a very common habit in the water when it comes to backstroke, and that is having too much flexion from the hips. And this is very common for anybody that has tight hip flexors or anything from the anterior chain, just being a little overworked. This is something that I'm going to demonstrate in both just in an alignment piece, as well as following it through in backstroke so you can see how it affects backstroke. I'm going to follow that with another demonstration showing proper alignment, but also what happens if the hips drop, how to correct it so you can see the change that occurs both in a singular position and also how it translates into backstroke. And I'm going to finish this video with also a way to train this same feeling that I demonstrated in part 2 of how to do it out of the water. So you may not have access to a pool for a certain amount of time, or you just want to get better without having to deal with trying to figure it out in the water. That's totally fine. There is a core exercise that you can do from home that will help you get the same exact feeling. Now, if you're interested in also strengthen your core to help overall improve your swimming, join our newsletter for a 30-day complete core challenge, completely free. And you can visit and sign up for that newsletter at swimvice.com. All right, so in this first demonstration, I'm just in streamline on my back. And at first I just slightly dip my hips, but here about midway, you can see full flexion from my hips. And you see that my hips are sinking, so I end up increasing more drag and just things are a little bit out of alignment. And what causes that is also an extra knee bend. So this is what happens when the hips drop. So that same flexion feeling is now translated into backstroke, and you can see how it affects my stroke. I end up adding more resistance, and I'm almost swimming uphill. Now you can swim backstroke relaxed, but you end up adding more resistance, and it's just, you don't get as quite of a good feel of the water by having your hips sink too much. And that's all caused from tight hip flexors or really not fully extending on your back, which is so critical in order to have an efficient backstroke. Okay, so in this demonstration, I'm still in streamline, same movement. However, I push my hips up and I actually engage my glutes to help keep everything nice and aligned on the surface, absolutely no problem. And you could also see a good rotation from the kick, which is really that connection that you need in backstroke as well. Okay, so now in this demonstration, I'm starting off with my hips sitting a little bit lower as shown in demonstration 1, just so you can see the difference. And how I'm going to correct it is I'm going to push my hip flexors up towards the surface of the water. And what's engaged is my glutes and my hip flexors pushing up. And that's what's going to create that nice body line and a smaller space where you end up swimming through. So you really want to keep that space as small as possible without any tension, of course. But where that correction's happening from is pushing from the glutes, push from the hip flexors up to the surface. Here I'm just demonstrating the full range so you can see that if you pike from the hips or have any flexion, you're going to sink, you're going to send your energy down. Here, I'm just pointing at my hips so you can see if you sit back, you're gonna sit lower. If you push your hips up, nice in alignment, then you're going to be swimming through a smaller surface. And once you get going, you'll scoot along just fine. So that's really where your momentum is gonna come from, as long as your alignment is in place. Okay, so how can you get this same feeling out of the water? A reverse plank. Now, it's your option if you want to keep your fingertips pointed towards your feet if you have too much stress on your wrists, but just pointing out exactly what happens to your alignment is, in order to hold this stationary plank, is you have to actually engage your glutes, push your hip flexors up, the same feeling that you get in the demonstrations I just showed earlier. And this will help you get that feeling. And not only that, but the core engagement and the muscle strength to be able to hold it, because that's ultimately what you need. So if you're interested in adding this as a practice for your training, definitely start off with 3 to 4 rounds at 30 seconds, and judging based on how you feel with that, you add increments of 15 seconds after that. And that's it.
All right, swimmers, I hope you enjoyed this video and you have a couple of practice points that you can take to the pool in order to improve your backstroke alignment. Now, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and click the links below in the description to help with your training. All right, swimmers, enjoy your practice, and I will see you all next week.